Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Have you ever found something so good on Facebook Marketplace you had to get out of the couch to get it immediately? You know it. Somebody's giving away this piece for free. I think it's an Ethan Allen. I refinished pieces like this one before. The resale price is really good because they can be used as nightstands. She did say that there are a couple other people that won the piece and it's a first come first serve. Hopefully we're the first ones there. As soon as I pulled into the driveway and saw that it was still there, I felt such a relief. I was also thankful that there was a little bit of light so I could get a good look at it. Just get in the drawers first. My husband was such a great sport about it that when I asked him if he would come with me to pick it up, he was like, if we're gonna do this, let's do it right away because I want to go to bed at a decent time, which I can't blame him, and I'm so grateful. I appreciate my helper. Mission accomplished. Now that we have some daylight, we can make a full inspection. And I know that it doesn't look like much. From the front, it looks pretty close to a square, but these pieces are like blank canvas to me. So many possibilities. I have so many ideas rushing through my brain right now. So the top is made out of pressed wood, and you can see the insert from the laminate on the side at least, which I don't know that I've ever seen that. The sides are made out of a thin layer of solid maple, which I love anytime I get solid wood. We also have solid wood drawers with dovetail joints that are in mint condition. They all slide smoothly. I have a look in mind for this piece today. The challenge today is that I want to stain the entire piece, and as I show you, the top is made out of pressed wood. I think I'm going to be using liquid wood to make sure that the top matches the rest of the body. And can I do that? Just gonna have to hang out and see. So stick around for today's makeover. This has nothing to do with furniture, but do you guys see how Luna just chewed on my hat? That was my sad story, I know. But let's talk about another thing that, in my opinion, is just as sad. Out of all the vintage hardware that I've encountered over the years, this is probably my least favorite. And all I can see are bats. I don't like it. So I'm definitely changing that. How are you? You want to chew my hat some more? No. I'm gonna let you. What are you smelling? Huh? I'm hoping a quick wipe down with simple green is enough. But I don't know, I'm seeing some grime where these old poles were. Handles, I should say. The drawers might need a quick scrub. I just ordered some hardware from Amazon that I think it's gonna go with the look that I'm aiming for. The drawers ended up cleaning out nicely, which means that we can start sanding. I'm gonna be using my bendable pad from Surfprep to sand the rounded edges on all the drawers first, and then I'm gonna move to the flat surfaces with the orbital sander. I'm using 120 grit. Since I don't expect everyone to own a fancy sander, this Contour Profile hand sanding block set is a great option for you. I've seen people attach the Phelps side to their orbital sander and sand different profiles with it. Before I could save up enough money to buy a Surfprep sander, which is what I'm using here, I remember using a DeWalt orbital sander for years. I purchased it with a warranty in case anything went wrong with it, and thankfully I never had to use it. But just so you know that you have a bunch of options for sanders out there that are gonna last a long time. Any of you out there have any guesses how long I've been sanding? If you guessed 4 hours, you would be correct. My hands are tingling by this point. But the good thing about sanding is that it gives me plenty of time to think how I'm gonna be treating this beautiful maple wood. Since many times maple wood can be challenging to stain evenly, I'm considering using a water-based stain. Not only do they dry faster than oil-based ones, but they're more workable, which means that I can layer different colors in case there is unevenness. Or if I find myself wanting to be a little more playful with my finish, I can do that better with water-based ones. So for the most part, I'm done sanding, but I have this idea in my head that I want to cut the front just to make it look like it's off the floor a little bit. I feel like it looks more pristine that way, and people are willing to purchase those more than the ones that are just square. The most challenging part is to get my cut straight all across. Before attempting to make a straight cut, I'm gonna be unscrewing the piece. Hopefully there isn't a lot of glue keeping it attached. That way if I have to hammer it off, it won't fall apart. All right, it doesn't look like it's glued, which is awesome. Yay! I mean, not very often am I grateful that I didn't use glue, but today I am. Let's measure and trace where we're gonna be making the cut now. The first thing I'm gonna do is drill one hole on each side where I want my cut to end. The holes will serve as markers. Since I need to make two small 90-degree angle cuts on this piece, I'm gonna be using my miter saw to make the cuts that will serve as a point of entry for both the table saw and the jigsaw. I'm not gonna lie, there are two things that are making me really nervous right now. One, will my cut be straight? That's the key word, straight. And number two, cutting past my marker using the table saw, which, believe it or not, happens more often than not. Do you know that if you hit your marking on the top, you have gone beyond the point on the bottom side? Which we did. And you know why it happened? Because both my husband and I were too worried about our fingers that distracted us. So I guess we just need to practice this cutting thing a little more to be more comfortable with it. Guess what? Cutting in a straight line and to the right spot are not the only skills I'm developing today. I've also been trying to improve in my storytelling here on YouTube, create engaging YouTube videos that stand out, and that's why I took this class by Adi Singh on Skillshare.
The more genuine you are, the more you stand out in your niche.
Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. You can check out projects other members have completed or receive mentorship one-on-one. If you want to level up your DIY decor skills, transform your space, or DIY clothing design, Skillshare has it all. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Now let's go back to fixing our mistake. I'm gonna be using a wood epoxy to fill this in, but first I want to make these straighter. So I'm just gonna sand that until it looks like the other side. Now that all our angles are looking pretty straight, we're gonna go ahead and take a piece of this wood epoxy putty, kneading it with our fingers until it becomes a uniform color, and then we're gonna press it onto this area where we cut too much. This wood epoxy can be sanded and stained, and it's gonna take about 30 minutes to dry. Meanwhile, I'm rinsing the piece one last time from all the sanding dust, and now I'm remembering about 2 cracks that I saw, one on each side, that I had forgotten about that we need to repair. But don't you worry, because I'm gonna use the same epoxy to repair them. Since I'm gonna be adding new hardware that's a different size, I'm also covering one of the hardware holes only with the same epoxy. At the beginning of the video, I said that I wanted to make sure that the top looked like it was made out of the same wood than the rest of the piece. To make that happen, I'm applying 2 coats of this primer that has been tinted to a color that's very close to the maple wood. I'm gonna be adding this product that's made out of solid wood fibers along with my graining tool. I'm very excited to do this part, so let's do it. Of course, we have to tape around it so that I don't get the primer or the reticket on the actual wood. FYI, reticket has different tones. You can buy whatever product matches the wood tones in your project. As soon as I opened the can of this water-based primer, I noticed that the pigments have separated, so I make sure to mix it really, really well. I almost forgot, but before applying the reticket, I want to screw our new base back. If you have been in the channel for a while, you know that a lot of the times I go for a buttery smooth finish, but since we are creating a faux wood technique that looks and feels like wood, I'm welcoming any brush stroke today. You don't have to be too perfect with it, I guess you can say. I ended up applying 2 coats of the tinted primer. Now that that's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a wooden primer, but the one from Reticket that has the wood fibers, followed by another coat of this darker tone of Reticket. Can you see it? With this color, I'm gonna be using the graining tool to create that cool wood look. I'm gonna let it dry for 1 hour before we move on to the next step, but just be aware that the surface is gonna feel grainy after this coat, which is completely normal. I know this part here can be kind of intimidating, but just try to have fun with it and rock the graining tool slowly. This one, applying just a little bit more product and going over it again. I think we can do a little better. I'm not too crazy about it, about this one, so try and make it a little better. I have a couple tips for you. The first one is make sure to wipe off any excess reticket that accumulates in the wood graining tool. The second tip would be that if you're not happy with the way it looked after dragging the tool, apply a little more product in the area and drag the tool again until you're happy with it. I want to show you really quick from the distance. Can you see that much of a difference? Really, there isn't. So yeah, now I need to pick a stain color, which is gonna help match all of the sides even more. Before applying the stain, I'm gonna be misting some water over the surface, and I'm choosing a very soft brush. You can actually find this one at Michael's. It's from the Up Paint brand. The water's going to do is gonna help the stain take more evenly. I'm using a water-based stain, and I'm gonna do one layer of the color Old Fashioned first. The two stain colors I'm using today are from Lilly Moon Paint. Wood is looking a little more on the yellow side, and I want to darken that some. It's only been about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna apply a coat of the color Mudslide. So why am I layering the second stain? Because I hated the way the wood looked after using Old Fashioned, to tell you the truth. I feel like Mudslide is gonna add a little more warmth to the finish. Just in case you're wondering, I applied the same technique with the two stains throughout the whole piece. I'm getting ready to top coat the piece, and today I'm gonna be using this polyurethane. It's a water base from Barathane. It's a matte finish. I just want to make sure that all the work that I did is protected and lasts a while for whoever the new owner might be. So this top coat is thicker than what I'm used to, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it. I would like to mention that diluting top coat is not a common practice. After doing this for about 6 years now, this is probably the second time I had to do it. I'm gonna use a 220 grit to scuff sand the piece just a little bit to soften some spots that look darker than others. So I'm gonna be focusing on those, but just going very, very lightly because I don't want to remove the stain from it. Just wipe the sanding dust very quick here. I'm gonna be applying a total of 3 coats to protect the new finish. And I'm spraying the top coat using my Flexio 3500 sprayer from Wagner. Luna? She's such a curious puppy that wants to be next to me at all times. But do you guys remember how our free Facebook find looked when we pick it up? And this is how he looks today. Out of all the times that I've attempted to achieve a Pottery Barn finish, I think this is the time that I've gotten the closest. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.